Hey, and welcome back to Season 2 of Namaste Y'all podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Boyce, author, educator, and spiritual seeker on a journey to self-love. I gotta start by saying thank you to everyone that tuned in to Season 1. I'm just little old me starting a podcast trying to put some love and light into the world, but every single one of you who tuned in and shared episodes and dropped comments, because of you, Season 1 was a whole vibe. Okay, I'm talking about on YouTube, where more than 4,500 people viewed episodes. That's more than 1,000 hours of the podcast being watched, and more than 450 subscribers that came along for joining our community. On Apple Podcasts, 95 followers and more than 2,000 plays. On Spotify, 51 followers and 437 plays. That's 99 hours of listening to Season 1, okay? And on Instagram, more than 1,000 of you came along to follow us at Namaste Y'all podcast. And it was such a vibe to just really get to hear your voices and see how you connected with the love and light that we put out into the world in Season 1. And so our wellness meetups, we met up and really got to experience community with 5 powerful yoga wellness meetups that reminded us how much magic happens when our community just meets with intention. Thank you all that made Season 1 a success. Let's talk about what's ahead in Season 2. This movement is rooted in healing, joy, love, and liberation for all of us. And so in this season, we're gonna go even deeper, y'all. Are you ready? We're gonna talk about love without ego, solo travel as self-care, peaceful co-parenting. We're gonna talk about love, dating, marriage, relationships. We're gonna talk about all kind of stuff this season, y'all, okay? The messy, beautiful journey to wholeness and love. That's what this is all about. So, light your candle, grab your tea or your coffee, and settle in because Season 2 of the Namaste Y'all podcast is officially underway. Let's go. Welcome back to Namaste Y'all podcast with Dr. B. If you're a person that's tired of hearing all the yelling back and forth and toxic debates and battle of the sexes, when it comes to dating, this episode is for you. Let's jump in. Okay, today I have 2 featured guests to dive into this topic of dating. I have my very own sister, Tish Johnson, who happens to be an entrepreneur, a homeschool mom expert, all of this fashionista, all of these things. But today I'm going to tap into her dating coach hat, okay? Because she's married and has been, it was 15 years now. Yes?
Married 13, together for 16.
Yeah, a whole bunch of years. Yes. They've been liking each other still. Okay, very good. And so I wanted to tap her in because she has the privilege of walking a lot of people's dating journeys with them. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to get that advice from a married person. And then also I have my second guest, Mr. Cory Hughes, who is also an entrepreneur, an author, speaker, and an advocate for emotional maturity. And I'm so happy to have you both here today. So let's dive into it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
So there's been a lot of back and forth on the internet. Mm-hmm. Everybody got a microphone. Everybody wants to talk about what should be a woman's role and a man's role and all of this stuff. I like to clear the air and say this is a space at Namaste Y'all podcast where we strive to choose love over fear. Mm-hmm. And my personal religion happens to be love. And that's where this podcast came from. I think there's a lot of people with mics putting out a lot of information, misinformation, and ego into the ethers. And so the objective is to have a conversation that's rooted in love. So when we talk about dating, I don't want to talk about some random stuff. I want to talk about what it means to date with a purpose. Mm-hmm. Like what is the function of all of this stuff? Everybody going back and forth on the internet, and sometimes to the point where I've started logging out completely because I'm like, I just can't. We need peace. We need black folks loving on each other. It's hard times out here, and everybody want to hop and try to like stab each other, I feel like. Right. So what does it mean when you think about purposeful dating? Like what comes up for you? Let's start there before we hop into some other stuff.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, dating coach.
You know what?
16 years.
Oh, Tish.
So purposeful dating, I think it has to do with, first of all, understanding who you are. Who you are before you enter into a relationship. Because if you don't know who you are, what you like, what you dislike, and the trajectory that you are going in your own life, how could you possibly merge that life with someone else and expect for it to be successful? Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about purposeful dating, you first need to know who you are. You need to know what you're looking to get out of a relationship. And then when you find someone that you feel like you want to grow with, making sure that the both of you are aligned. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in dating. You have very different ideas of what dating looks like, what your boundaries are, how are we going to raise children, how will we operate with our finances. You're on two totally different wavelengths. And that has a lot to do with when you're not aligned in a relationship, you're going to hit more bumps in the road than usual.
Okay. What about you, Cory? What comes to mind for you?
Yeah, so much. But I just think about purpose over preference.
Well,
right?
Say more about that. He's so deep.
I'm definitely deep. But purpose over preference is that I think sometimes we can be so fixated and fascinated on what we prefer, right? The way she looks, how tall he is, how much money they make, all of that good stuff. But the question is, when you start talking about purpose, does all of those things align with where you're going? Is it in conjunction with who you are? And so I think I say this all the time from a male perspective anyway, that you lay down with how they look, but you live with how they think.
Oh, Lord.
That's good.
So the truth of the matter is, it's not just about how she looks when you're talking purpose, but how does she think? Because how can two walk together unless they what? Agree, right?
Absolutely.
And agreement starts with mental. It starts with also with purpose and direction and legacy. And so I think once we get past dating for body parts and start dating for purpose, I think we'll have a little bit more success.
But do you think that kind of changes over time? Like when you think about, like when we in our 20s. So I was married for 9 years. I've been divorced was this 3 years now? Yeah, very good. And so when I think about dating, it's like, well, I haven't dated since I was in my 20s. I'll be 40 this year. So when I think about it, it's like it's a whole new criteria. It's like a whole new rubric. Like if you think about what you were doing when you were 20. So I consider Tish a dating coach because there's so many people in her life that, we call and we talk about stuff. And she's like, well, did you think about this? Or have you considered that? But I be trying to help her understand too. And this ain't the same ball game, sis. Like when we were 20s, what we was doing, this is weird out here now. Like it's different.
It's different.
Out here. These people are weird. So I just feel like, I don't know, like I'm getting to the point where I heard somebody say the other day, some people are dating for entertainment and some people are dating for partnership. And I think when you just say, oh, we're dating, to me, it's like, it makes it feel like, well, all these single people in the same pool. But once he broke that down, and now I've had some experiences like out here going out with people, it's like, oh yeah, like now I can see like that person was dating for entertainment. Yeah, they really just wanted to have a good time and like blah, 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 blah. And, maybe some will come from it. Maybe, well, like they was just kind of out here. And then you get other people that are more, like you're saying, they're purpose-minded. They're thinking about like legacy-minded. And that to me has been the saddest part of encountering black men. I'm going to go here now.
Whoa.
I'm finna pivot.
The
difference, because that's why I got you here. We need representation for you represent the whole race right now. Listen.
Jesus.
This is what I learned recently. I'm a researcher. I collect data and then I analyze the data. I disaggregate it, if you will.
Okay.
The data has suggested that black men are the most unserious group of daters in the dating pool. And I don't mean you personally, but I mean just encountering people, even like on dating apps or like when you meet people, it's like other groups of men, and that's not just white men, that's like other groups of men are more quickly to be like, they think you a solid candidate, and they be like, let's go out.
Hey, let's
like,
go on a
let's
date.
meet in person. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking to partner. It's like they think about building with somebody. They thinking about like, hey, I can see you as a good team member. Like, hey, let's do this. And the black man like, I'm kind of just dating and I'm just trying to like, not,
Namaste.
But I also think, Stephanie, that has a lot to do with what I was saying. What is your definition of dating? Because everyone's definition of dating is going to look different. For some people, if they are dating intentionally and with purpose, they are looking for a partner. Whereas some people, like you said, are dating for entertainment. You just want to have a good time with whoever that may be for the weekend. So it depends on what is the month. Right. So it depends on what your definition, what does it mean to date?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did say that this was like a positive podcast.
It is.
Right? We're not going to be. Okay.
It's positive, but I'm going to share real stuff.
Can I give a real
We can get
response?
real. Yeah. And we're going to always bring it back to love. That's the thing.
Always bring it back to love.
Always bring it back to love.
But the question that you have to ask yourself is, if that is true, then why aren't men being serious? do they have a lot to choose from that would make them want to be serious? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the dating now goes back to that superficial thing we talked about. It's about how much money you make. It's about the vibes. It's about the entertainment. It's about the experience. Do you really? I mean, we're still dealing with, coming off the backside of the I can do bad by myself culture and generation. Mm-hmm. And so as a man, is there a lot of opportunities for me to find a woman that I can take serious that will take me serious as well? Mm-hmm. Because when I start asking questions like, do women like roses and to be sang to nowadays, or do they just want the vibes and the trips to Tulum? You got to ask yourself the question. Mm-hmm. So is it that men are unserious?
See, all of the above. What are we choosing?
Well, I'm not.
And the flowers.
Okay, well,
and
namaste,
the vibes.
right?
And
all of the
namaste.
All the things.
We want all of them.
Okay.
What we got to choose?
I feel attacked, guys. I don't know what's going on here.
You asked the question, do they want this or
crazy.
this or this? And we answer all of the above.
All of the above. Okay, I'm with you. But I just think men do desire relationships. They may not maybe articulate or communicate it well all the time. But I just got, like you said, just coming back into the dating market, it's different on both sides. It's different on both sides. I'm back in the dating market, and I've been divorced now for 2 years, almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. It's completely different.
Yeah, what's the difference? Because all I know is very fantastic women who are professional, high quality women, and then when I talk to them and we talk about our dating journeys and stuff, and I'm like, it must be the man crazy, because clearly all the women I know are fantastic and a great choice. So I don't know what you're experiencing.
And to juxtapose that argument, most of the guys that I know are amazing men, right? They're very good, namaste. They're great men. But the reality is, the pool that they're picking from is can be challenging. And this is coming from a divorced man, right?
Okay, well, let me say this, though. I do feel like I will acquiesce on this, because I did have kind of a tough call on the black man a minute ago.
Oh, you definitely
And that
did.
was really to get the conversation going. I didn't want to attack you or anybody watching.
It's too late.
I really just like to stir the pot a little bit. But honestly, I feel like this is what's happening. At our age, so I'm almost 40. How old are you?
Almost 50.
Okay, I feel like people have gone through the season where you were like, in your 20s, you were all like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed about love and marriage and all the stuff we were told, and we all like did it. And then now it's like on the other side of it, like people are like, hey man, life been hard, man.
Yeah.
And then went down through there.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, look, this is what I got to give. You want that? You don't want that? It's not good enough. Go on then. It's just gone. Everybody.
I think divorce and experience changes your approach. It definitely changes your approach. I'm kind of no nonsense when it comes to dating. It's like, either you is or you ain't my baby. You remember that?
Yeah.
Either
you is or is you
ain't my baby. You dig what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like, what we doing? Like, all that fluff and playing, because especially at my age, like, I realized that I probably got more years behind me than I got in front. So I don't have a lot of time to joke and play and do all that. Like, you know what I think it is? I think the older you get, you cease to be so intentional about giving them the presentation, that representative. Like, it's ain't no representative. This is who I am.
This is what you get.
Hey,
this is what you get.
This is what we got right here, man.
Yeah. Namaste.
But in my opinion, that takes a lot of the confusion out of it, though. This is me authentically. Is this good enough? Is this something that you are willing to build with?
Yeah.
Right.
It takes all the, like you said, the fluff out of it.
I can see that. So for me, I think it's been a journey to learn the skill of dating, because I think I was just explaining this the other day. I think what I had to learn was dating before, like I was married in my 20s. Most of the time, we were in close proximity socially with each other. When you think about high school, when you started dating, when you think about college, when you dated, you're in close proximity to other humans, and you just decide, oh, I like this person, they like me. Now we go together. Like, I never was in a place where it was like, I'm dating and I'm getting to know people, and I keep them at arm's distance, and I collect data on you, and then I decide, may the best man win, let them get out, fight for it, sis. Let them fight for you.
Right.
I never did that. It was just like, I like somebody, they like me back, now we go together. And now when you're on the other side and you're like, oh, I have to learn how to date. I never had to do that before. Now you have to understand what it is to reserve your giving, because everybody is not deserving. When
they're
you're
not
a giver,
deserving of it. Mm-hmm.
you connect with somebody, you talk to them about something. I mean, this guy had gone a couple dates with, and he had told me about his son was getting ready to go to college and something about a scholarship and paying and something. Well, I got a whole program that I've done before, helping high school kids get scholarships, and like, it's nothing.
Right.
I had your kid at school for free in 3 weeks fooling with me, and I don't even know if I like you good yet, but we're just connecting, and I heard this, and so I just had to get into the process in dating where I had to retrain myself. It helps to have Tish, because I'm one of those people I have to learn. You know, I have to get out there and be like, oh well, yeah, and then it was like, oh, these people are out here. Mm-hmm. These people don't mean me no good
at all.
Like, let me take my resources
and preserving your gifts, because that's a gift that you have. Just your giving spirit and the way that you love. And when you connect with someone, you automatically want to give them your gifts. But everyone's not deserving of that. And sometimes I have to tell her, hey, sit down somewhere, because you've known this person for 2 weeks. And you about to do all these things and let them know how beneficial you are to them, but they've done nothing to show you that they're worthy of that.
Yeah, I'll just be like, what is it to me?
Yeah,
the program is made. Like, it's not, I'm finna go create a program for his son. Like, the program, oh, look, you should da-da-da-da. But it's just really more so, I think, I've learned how to function with reciprocal energy.
Yes.
And if my desire is to have a man that will lead, because I ain't leading again. I ain't leading a man nowhere.
Did she say again?
Okay,
sorry.
She said what she said.
I'm not leading nobody. That means he has to be able to lead, and the reciprocation comes from me, not the other way around. Not I show you, because a lot of us, that's how we were kind of raised. Like, I have that type A personality. My dad wasn't really in the house with me. Like, you had to earn. You had to earn love. You had to be. Hey, I'm perfect. Like, look. Like, everything is like, I deserve it, right, Dad? Like, look, I got the A honor roll. Like, look, I got to college. Like, look at me. Like, don't I deserve the love? And I think it's been a rewiring in my healing journey. And my therapist, bless her heart, I've invested thousands of dollars. I keep the lights on, because like this, it's one thing to understand the root causes of things, and it's another thing to do that work. And then it's a whole separate thing to get into the field now and have to apply. I read books about love and relationships, first like year or so out of, post-divorce. And you're like, oh, yeah, this is good. Look, Tish, this is what I read, girl. She said, da-da-da-da-da. Do that, so I'm going to do that next time. But it's a different thing. When you out here face-to-face with somebody and, like, you interact, and that's why people that don't get in the game, I'm always like, it's tough, but you got to get out here and at least try, and that's how you learn. So... yeah,
man. Listen, you said a mouthful. I got questions. I won't ask too many, because I know what I'm saying. But I got some questions.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I got questions about this drip campaign love that y'all talking about over here. That you just kind of, you just slowly unveil who you are. Like, what's the pace? At what pace do you? At what pace and at what point does that person deserve to see the full capacity of who you are? Because I don't know how to do that, right? And maybe that's something I may need to call your number. You help me out, because for me, I just show up. This is who I am, right? It's my first time meeting her. I'm just me. I'm always gonna be me, and it goes back to what I said, what we talked about, just putting it all on the table. What I don't understand is that I do meet people that's like, I'm gonna show you who I am as we go through this journey, and it's like, well, okay.
But isn't that what a journey is?
How else do you know?
You're saying when you meet someone, you give, this is me, but that's what a journey is. You're discovering as you go.
Correct. Okay.
So my thing is, I've never, because Stephanie and I talk daily, and I've never encouraged her to not be herself authentically. But for example, if this man has not planned a date, he has not shown you explicitly that he is interested, why would you give him all of your gifts? Why would you allow him to have that type of access when he hasn't even planned a date?
You know what I mean? And to that point, I have not done that, because I think she's given an example.
Yeah, that was an example. It's an example.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
Oh, namaste. She hadn't done that.
Namaste.
Right.
No, they got to come on with it.
Right.
So, no, but to your point, I think that's that's been a constant in our friendship, though. I've always seen Tish put herself in a situation where Tish always looked out for herself. She always cared for herself, and I was always on the other side of that, like trying to give, trying to people please, trying like all of these other things, and that translates into your romantic relationships.
Absolutely.
And so I think what we were able to see, because the longevity of our friendship, Tish had a dad that was very much present and very much did a lot for her. And she was like regularly cared for by her father in such a way that it was a default expectation from whatever man that came along. Well, surely you should do that. Well, surely he should. My perspective is, well, why would you expect somebody to do that for you, baby? You able-bodied
You
woman.
can do, and I know I saw you
Go.
had something you wanted to say, but we had a discussion, because my expectation is if you will open the door for me, whether it's my car door or what. She like, you got hands, you can't open the door for yourself. To this day, my dad and I will go on lunch dates, we'll go on dinner dates. He still opens doors. He opens my car door for me. It is just an expectation. So no way would I have ever dated a man who would not do that same thing for me. You know what I mean? And there are some men that, well, I didn't know that was an expectation. I'm letting you know now that it is an expectation. And if that's not something you can get with, then we may need to go our separate ways. Something as small as that.
We might not be in alignment on that. And so for me, like I'm to the point now where I would just stand there, you know, before I, you know, whatever. But there was a time where I did, my mindset was like, baby, I come from a family of strong, independent women that did everything for themselves. My grandma was a double amputee. She didn't have legs at the age of 11. Her entire life, she did everything. She took care of my grandpa till he died. She had 3 kids. Like all of it, she lived a full life, but she wouldn't let us help her if we wanted to. And so it's like, when that's your frame of reference, then when you talking about, I don't put gas in my car. Her and another one of my friends, I don't touch my gas. I'm over here like, girl, go put some gas. This drama.
I'll run out of gas on the side of the road
go put some
before
gas
I
in
put
your
some
car,
gas.
girl. What is this drama? But fast forward all of these years now, I have gotten to a point where you take off the thing about, I want to make things easier for the people around me. Like, you need to carry so much so that people don't have to worry about you. When you realize, well, hold on, it's a privilege to be in relationship with me. And anybody's territory is expanded by way of their proximity to me. So why the hell would I want to carry more and more and more? And you know what I mean? So to the point where I was, almost 200 pounds dragging around, because I'm putting on everything, the things from the church, the things from the community, the things from my family, I'm just going to carry it all, y'all. And just a lot of black women, this has been our stories. And so it's been a rewiring and a healing journey to get to the point where I could call Tish and be like, you're going to be so proud of me. Let me tell you what I did. And then I could tell her something, because you have to identify the patterns, or you are just existing in the way that you had to survive out of that trauma response. And we're all just running around into each other and just having all of these debates about what you bring to the table, everybody just shut up and go heal so we can be better versions of ourselves.
This is so good.
Yeah.
I got so much
I'm
to
gonna
say.
stop, because I'll keep going, because she
Okay.
keeps looking at me, and then I'm gonna keep like. And remember that one time.
Listen, man, I'm just here listening. But just this conversation, I'm very cerebral, and so I'm thinking about the impacts of a father. The first question I had for her was, did having a father make it easier to love your husband the way you do? Because I love the way you love your husband.
Absolutely. But go ahead. Did you
I
have
just and then on the flip side of that is learning the softness when you've been trained by harder women. Learning how to be soft, right? And for me, I was sitting down thinking, you know, you I'm not going to say what you need, but I would say if I was to diagnose, it would be a man that would say,
diagnose.
Sit down, I got this.
Oh, yeah. But see,
a man that would say, you ain't got to be strong.
That's exactly right. And he would have to be competent enough to do it. That's the problem.
Right.
See,
it's one thing to say it.
By their ego, they would like to say that. But some men, when it comes to a woman like me, they have to have the temperament to say that, but they also have to have the competence to say that, because you can't.
What do you mean by competence?
Okay, so some men, let's say for instance, when I was single before I got married, by the time I met the person that I married, I owned 2 homes. I had my car. I was like about to finish my master's. I was on a trajectory there. I had this savings over here, these investments over here. Like I had certain things going in my universe already.
Correct.
And so I like to equate it to like Aladdin and Jasmine. Like people like to make certain things about socioeconomics and like people being bougie and not. And I like to say, no, it's about your capacity. Aladdin and Jasmine shouldn't have got together because she is in line to inherit a kingdom. You live on the street. You don't have the capacity to lead a woman that is slated to inherit a kingdom because you don't have the capacity to partner with her to lead nothing. Not because you ain't cute and she don't love you and feel tingles when y'all get on the carpet, but because you don't have the capacity. So for me, I needed a partner that was like-minded and had the capacity to lead with, okay, I can see what you got here and I raise you of this. You know what I'm saying? Because now you can get into some building. It's all about the alignment. But I think at a certain point, if you're not aware of that, because now we almost 40. Now you understand these things. But when you're in your 20s, you're like, oh, we go to church and we're all great and God is good and let's all get married because we're at church and you're supposed to do that. And, we don't have sex till we get married. Me and my ex-husband, we don't have sex till we get married. God is pleased. And, it was all these other things. But it's like the matters of life, when it comes to your partnership and all of that stuff, it's like you have to have the capacity. I think every man needs to be the woman. He has the capacity to lead, no matter where he is in his life and wherever she is. And I think that's what's so beautiful. But Tish, I feel like, to your point about her dad, has always been able to submit to a man's authority because her dad was there and she was trained in that way. For me, you got to show me, huh? Submit to who? You?
You said we was gonna be peaceful, but I'm gonna look in the camera and say this.
We all
I'm gonna look in the camera and tell all your viewers this.
Oh.
From a man's perspective, it is so easy to tell a woman who had a father in her life and one who didn't. It is a clear line of separation.
I can see that.
And so, watching you, I didn't know that, but just when I'm watching your content, I love the way you love on your husband. I love the way he loves on you. Y'all are like, yin and yang.
Absolutely.
You out there and loud, he quiet, and me looking at the camera sometimes like, Lord have mercy. But you can tell
match.
he has a humble strength about himself.
Yes.
And I can see that. And looking at you is like you're so educated and just energetic and all that good stuff. And I see the symmetry. I see why you guys are friends. And so it's just a beautiful thing. I'm just here. I'm just the guy that if y'all want to beat up on today, y'all beat up on the guy.
We're not going to beat up on
you. Oh, no, you already beat up on the guy.
No, I was just trying to cause a little chaos for the people.
I got questions, though.
Oh, God.
I got questions about how do you define...
Oh, God.
How can you identify whether a man has a capacity to lead you?
That's a great question for my viewers to hear me answer.
It is. That's why I asked you.
Because my journey and my studies and my lived experience has taught me this. At this age, it's about you can't partner with somebody based on potential. They have to be potentied, is what we call it.
Potential.
Fully potentied. Now, if somebody is fully potentied, then you're going to assess what the person's capacity is by what they set before you. If the objective for me in dating now is to collect data, that means when I go on a date with a man and we're having conversations, I am able to assess his capacity. So for instance, if it's important for me to travel, like this is a non-negotiable. I am a citizen of the world. I am going to see all these continents and do all of these things. It's not a matter of, oh yeah, I love to travel. It's a matter of where have you gone last?
Where have you been?
Where do you plan to go next?
Philadelphia.
Where is your what do you do? You know what I'm saying? And that's the data. The data is what a man does.
You know what?
Not what you be a great dad. If you have kids, are you one? And so like looking at the data for what it is and not trying to, because I suffer from a disease called gracism, where you look at somebody's situation and you project grace up onto them. Well, I know he's kind of struggling with communication, but his parents used to, and then he had to, and then, so maybe he just, and we don't do that no more. Maybe if you're a grown man, you don't know how to communicate, you have to go find some therapy.
Well, I'm glad I asked you that question because I think context is extremely important with these type of conversations, because I always tell women that you cannot expect for a man to be faithful to you if he does not display faithfulness in other areas of his life already.
Yeah, I can see
He's not a discipline. You can't expect for him to be disciplined to you if you can't look at his life and see the fruits of being disciplined or being integral. right? And so a lot of times women go in and they try to create what they want when it should already be evident, as what you said, already potential. I'm not gonna do the body movement, but you know, but namaste, you know. So I dig you on that.
Because we'll project our good stuff onto him. Well, if he just you'll project what you would do in his circumstance onto him, and then you're thinking about somebody's potential. And potential is a scary place to be because it rests on the idea that we can always be something more.
Right.
But it's like capacity has to do with right now. Capacity is about today sitting in front of this person. Who are they and what do they have to offer? And then here's what I have and this is where I'm going. And then are those things in alignment? And to Tish's point, the journey is what shows you if the alignment is there. Because you don't know till you have that first little spiff, like, how this person is gonna be. Like you can think in your mind, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm a great communicator and da-da-da. Then you get to the first fork in the road and it's like pow, pow. And so the first person I dated, that's what happened. We had this little situation and then I hit the eject button. I was like, hey man, I'm done with this man.
Right.
I dropped his stuff off. I blocked him on the stuff. I sent him an eject message.
She's a blocker.
It was so nice to get to know you.
Fast.
And now, namaste, peace be unto you. And then I'm going to go this way
like
now.
goodbye?
You're going to go that way now. But we're clearly not in alignment. Well, the men's is telling me, okay, to your point about the men's be telling me when I talk to people. And like you'll be surprised how many women can't have like keep a conversation.
Hello?
Because that's why I be confused. There's times where there might be, let's say there's a man that enjoys your company. You're beautiful, you have what I am realizing, I told Tish about this last dude that I dealt with. You're not used to nobody talking to you, like talking to you and like listening to you and like really like it's something about the feminine energy where you're listening to someone in a certain way and you're talking to them and you can go deep. Where I'm like, you're thirsty. The connection that you think you want with me, it's not even about this. What you're thirsty for is some soul connection. You know what I mean? It's some love that you're missing in your interactions with women. Yeah.
You know what I tell women, you know, when I travel and do podcasts and all that good stuff is, I'll simplify by saying this. A man just wants a woman to see him and not the exterior. But can you see me beyond sometimes the presentation that I give because I don't want you to know that I'm Clark Kent because everybody accepts Superman. Can you really see me? Do you really hear me? Right? I tell people all the time, and I know with her being married, and you've been married before, so you understand this, with your spouse, you got to get to the point where you hear what they're saying beyond what they're saying.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's not even them speaking, it's the trauma speaking, and they just need to be nurtured and held and loved and protected, and even men have that as well.
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right. I don't want you just to listen to me, but do you hear me?
And I think, too, but doesn't it have to do with where a man is? Because I feel like some men, based on where they are in their journey, if they're trying to do something purposeful and they're trying to do something real, then they want to be seen. But I think the worst thing for a man that isn't ready for anything purposeful is to be seen. It's like, get out of there. Like, hey. And it's like,
you're going a little deeper than I wanted you to.
Hey, we don't need to be going,
but let me dispel your myth.
Let me push you off. Let me, hey, it's getting too, hey. This, you know, I think sometimes that's the thing too with some people based on where you are, because I think it's about two things. It's about, do you have the capacity and then you have the willingness. Some people, they might have the capacity. You might meet somebody great, but they don't have the willingness. This might not be the time. They might have some other stuff going on in their life. They trying to get their finances and all that. Like, hey, I can't get too deep down in the thing, and to be seen is, you know,
it's
almost
scary.
Not a good thing for some people in that way.
I'm with you, but I think that. What I'm trying to articulate to your viewers is this, that although men sometimes may portray wanting to be seen, right? Like, I like to be seen. I mean, obviously. Okay, anyway. But really, when you have that one person that sees what nobody else sees.
That makes sense.
And can appreciate and love that version of you that you are afraid to put on display. Because you're afraid that everyone may not accept that. Everyone may not understand that. I'm telling you, in every Superman, there was a Clark Kent.
Yeah.
In every grown man, there was a little boy. And he oftentimes only feels safe to share that little boy with a woman that actually wants to see it.
Yeah.
And not just talk at him, but talk to him.
Okay, can I say one more thing? Because I know we about to out of time. We way out of time.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's her fault.
I have also experienced the phenomenon now that I've been working on, you know, it takes a lot, like that emotional maturity, that like, whatever. Because I have a tendency to be like, hey, bye. Like if something comes up, you know, like after, like when you back out here now, you say, hey, red flag, what's that? I don't want.
What's your attachment style?
Come on, we're not gonna come on, focus. We're out of time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Listen, what I noticed, and maybe you can give me some insight.
I'm about to.
Because you're talking about the Clark Clint situation. Listen,
I'm seeing you.
the first time where I hit it, where it's like bow, 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 like whatever the previous opening up the man was doing, I feel like it's like whoa,
Closed.
Mm-hmm.
it's like
gone.
it never, even if you try to repair and you come back, it's never the same. And I guess for me, I feel like my pop offs be mild. You know, like I know people that crash out and like what. So mine might be like, hey, like I'm done with this. I can't deal. I don't want. Like hey, blah 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 blah. Like whatever that is, and you shut them down. After that, my experience is that I can always tell like after that. It wasn't. So now I've learned, like I said, dating is a skill. How, like, I have to stop. I have to pray. Like, I can't do this alone. On my own strength, I'll let you have it. Who you playing with? But that's the ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your ego bubbling up. Like, man, you want a knuckle buck. What we doing? But on the other side of that is love. And love challenges me to say, maybe the loving action right now, even for myself, is to stop. Is to say, I'm not going to talk to, you know, let's take a beat. And for me to say, I'm going to give myself 24 hours. This is my new rule after my first dating debacle. 24 hours. If I do feel like, girl, this got to end. Like 24 hours and see if you will still feel that way tomorrow. And so I want to offer that to somebody. When you're working on emotional regulation, if you are used to being, because when you think about your trauma, if you're used to having to protect yourself out here to guard your heart to, hey, somebody trying to play with me, like you got to get away from me. You got to know that's a trauma response.
It is.
And so for you to know it, then you got to figure out how to do something about it, because otherwise you will cut him in. And that's why I noticed, to me, I didn't feel like it was a cut, but I realize now after the fact, like, yeah, he was kind of flowing and there was a thing and he was kind of more vulnerable. But after that one shutdown, even if we tried to come back a little bit, it was never the same amount of openness and vulnerability than before the shutdown. When he felt like, oh, she would just, you will really just eject me from the plane? It's like, I will eject you, boy.
Yeah, you want to speak on it? Because I got so much. Go ahead.
I feel like I want to let you go, but I do want to say, and you can correct me because you are a man, and I can only say from a man's perspective. For me, when that happens, I feel like it's also a lack of emotional, a lack of emotional security, a lack of emotional intelligence on the man's part, because if you've been vibing with me and we have been having an amazing time and I have 1 mile pop off, something goes in a way that I don't like, and I may act outside of myself and say some things, not necessarily, because we have to be, we're in charge of what we say, right? So we have to be mature enough to know, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. I was wrong for that. But if I have a moment and it's enough for you to just remove yourself from me instead of saying, all right, you and your feelings, I'm going to give you your time to have your moment, but I'll see you later because we're going to talk about this further. Like, to me, that is emotional maturity. That is, you know, you said you done because you got a little attitude. And I'm not talking about making it toxic. You know what I'm saying? Because
not
that
like
can be
busting out windows, crashing out.
No.
Like,
we're
none
not
of that,
talking about the toxic behaviors. We're talking about you had a little attitude, and as your man, okay, you have a little attitude. We'll get through this. It'll be okay.
But I think if you get to as your man, that's down the road, you might have had a little bit more groundwork. I think when you're at a certain point, like for me, the last time this happened, I was maybe 2 months in. And I think if you feel like...
Did you throw something?
Red flags? No, I didn't throw anything. I'm just using this as one example because it's not the first time this has happened. Okay. I've had another situation where something happened and it's like, hey, bow, bang, bang, bang. And then like, it's like they see, like, there's this other side of you. It's like, yeah, I'm a human being. So, like, yeah, we can namaste y'all. And I try to pray and stay close to the cross because God knows I'm trying to live my life and heal and all of this. But I'm still a human, and I get to have a human experience. And so I think feeling like you need to be perfect, which has always been my story, feeling like I can't have a misstep. I can't put it out. I didn't do drugs in college. I never smoked the weed.
Not a weed?
I didn't drink.
What's a weed?
I didn't drink a margarita till I was 21. Like, when you feel like you always need to be perfect to be loved.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just at the point now in my journey where it's like, hey, I had a moment, man. not that I'm gonna bust, I think there's certain things people do, but I think if you dealing with somebody that's like they've dealt with whatever before and they like, that's a red flag. No, she could just no, I'm gonna need to go on. I think depending on where you are, like if it's a person that knows you, if it's a person that just met you, if it's I think those things, it's like they getting to know you and you pop off on them once, they be like, oh, she got some pop off in there.
And it does seem like they're expecting perfection, which is unrealistic.
So. Okay, first of all, we're not going to do that. Okay, we know nobody expects perfection. Okay.
Well, help us, give us some clarity,
I'm
some insight, because
we're
10 minutes over.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this quick. Have you ever heard of what's called internal family systems?
Well, not by that name. Can you help us understand?
Yeah.
What you mean?
Okay. Expand on it.
So it's a therapeutic term. Okay. And so I want to challenge all of your viewers to go and check it out. It's called IFS. Okay. Because what you're talking about is IFS, and what you're talking about is IFS. Okay. And I wish they could see it, but basically, when you are not an adolescent, but a toddler from 0 to 6, you have what they call is the exile. All right. And then from 6 to 17-year-olds, you have what's called the firefighter. And then over here, you have the manager. Okay. So what you just talked about was managing. So what happens is when we are young, most of our trauma happens at this age. Mm-hmm. What happens is we develop a personality to protect this person. And this is the firefighter. This is your pop-off. Mm-hmm. Right? This is your pop-off because you popping off because you don't want somebody to hurt the little girl there. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay. And you don't understand that when you pop off in him, he's reclusing because you're hurting the little boy. Mm-hmm. But the manager side of you tells the firefighter to sit down. That's the 24 hours you was talking about. Hey, I got this.
If I could just keep the firefighter over there for 24, I'm a fire sign too, I'm a Sagittarius. If I could just keep the fire down,
just for a little bit.
If the firefighter go, then it already went. Now it's pow time, and it's too late now.
So what you're talking about is managing to say, hey, within 24 hours, if I still feel the same way, I'm going to come back. Now over to you. What you talked about is this being in the forefront at all times, saying she's not perfect, right? This is so good. This is why they pay me the big bucks. It takes what you talked about. It takes that therapy. It takes you spending more time being here versus being here, because when I'm healed as a man and I'm emotionally intelligent and I stop taking things so personal, I can look at her and say, hey, look out, baby, I'm gonna call you tomorrow because I know you're having a moment, and I'm not gonna take this personal. But if I have not healed from my past trauma, if I'm still hurting from my divorce, if I'm still hurting from what my mother said, then when you say that, all it does is bust open the wound up, and I feel like you're trying to hurt him the way they did, and so you go get this versus this, and you know what this is? Man, get away from her. This says, oh, she's just like your mama. This says, oh, she's just like your grandmother. This says, oh, she's just like your auntie. So I'm going to run not because I don't love you, I'm not interested in you. I'm trying to protect him.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that basically, to sum up this episode, we all need to do our work and find a therapist, employ them, and then do what you learn. Because otherwise, the other thing that you learn is I can't ever do this. If I do this, I lose everything. If I ever do this and I have a pop
only when you have a person that's
worthy,
not operating.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying too, if you're thinking about here being any issues related to abandonment or rejection, then what you learn early on is this will get you abandoned. If anybody sees that, they won't be able to handle it. So then you don't ever let this emerge. And what happens is what I'm saying is if you don't recognize what you're saying, because I think what you're saying is important. If what you've learned in your trauma is I can't let people see me come outside my face. I can't have these kind of raw emotions, or people can't deal with it and they'll run away, or they'll shut down, or like I'll break things or I'll be abandoned. There'll be a reason to give somebody a reason to abandon or reject me if they ever see me come outside my face. Then you don't feel worthy to be loved if you don't do that. And this is so good. I wish we could talk longer because Tish doesn't never function that way. You see? So when we would have situations, let's say in college, when other people were encountering like the crazy men. I wasn't doing it. I just would sit over here with my boyfriend and be like, oh, y'all dealing with some crazy men. But see, now I'm on the other side of the journey and I got to deal with it now as a grown up. Like, oh, I think you crazy, man. Go over there.
With the good men.
So when there were things that happened, I would be like, Tish would do something. And, I'm not going to put your business out there. Like bust a window or something. I would be like,
oh, Tish would bust a window.
There's no way. If you busted a window, you busted this man's windows, there's no way he would stay with you. Like, nobody's going to stay with somebody that busts their windows out or fights them or cusses them. You couldn't do that to a man and he would stay around.
Yes, he will.
And so to have, like, been a part of this journey to be like, it's not perfection that is necessary.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had to learn that, though. But being a church girl, you grow up with, this is what you do and this is how you are. And God will bless it. To be on the other side of your journey, be like, I checked all those boxes. Don't have sex before marriage. Do this, do that, do that. And to still have the bottom fall out your marriage and have to lose everything and rebuild your life, I'm going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Adele interview. Adele said, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm going to do what's true to me. And if that means I had a moment to be like, hey, man, whatever you're doing over there is feeling fishy, get away from me. Then I can hold space for myself now as an adult to say, I have these feelings, but this is what I was going to say. Until you get back in the ring and you're trying to date with purpose, you don't even know that is even a thing anymore. Like, right. So it's like, it's some people, they talk about what they would and wouldn't do on podcasts. And I'm like, have you been married before? Right. Ain't never been married. Let's please have a seat. Mm-hmm. Like, are you actively dating? No, you at home watching on the sidelines. Okay, whatever. Yeah. But until you have that moment in that situation with that person and it happens, then you can take it back to your therapist. Like, I did a thing. Like, let's get into this. What is this? Why am I like this? Like, how can I fix this? Like, how do I... And then you go back and you have to be mindful about, okay, moving forward, here are some boundaries I have for myself when I'm dating. These are some things that we're not going to do. These are some things that I need to make sure I do. But the prayer is, and let me say this, because when I've only dated one person, like, since I've been divorced. When it ended, my prayer was, God, show me myself. Mm-hmm. God, show me myself. And I went on a trip with myself and I was just praying, like, God, show me myself. Because so often we'll tell people a list of 15 reasons why.
Did you go to Careless?
That person is trash. I didn't. But I should have. But I didn't. But God showed me myself. He showed me how I did not invite him in. I did not pray. Like, when that get ready to happen, my first step ought to be prayer. Not just in a relationship and dating, but with my friends, with my family, Absolutely. With my line sisters, with anybody. When that gets ready to come up, because I can feel it. It's coming up from my feet to my chest. Like, bruh man is finna
turn to a gorilla.
Beast mode. Yeah. Like, before, like, you have to stop and learn, God is with me. Like, he's here to help me even with this, because I can't do it by my own strength. I'm going to let you have at it. What do you want? You want some smoke?
But I got a question, though. Can I ask a question?
We're finna get fired.
Because I know we're going to get fired. So I just got a question. It's a rhetorical question and then a statement. But how is letting them have it beneficial to what you desire? Just a question, not an answer. This is for everybody.
It's not.
Because a lot of times what we do is we be like, oh, I'm going to let them have it. But then...
After the fact, y'all just be like, I shouldn't have said that.
I shouldn't have.
I probably should have been quiet. But you talked about dating with purpose.
Yeah.
Here's what mature, purposeful dating looks like to me. It looks like me sitting down having a conversation with you, wanting to know about your exile. Mm-hmm. And I want to know, how do you respond when that exile doesn't feel safe? So therefore, when you do it, I'm not mad at you because I know it's really the little girl crying out.
Yeah,
that's what safe, healthy dating looks like. So you understand, okay, she's spazzing out right now. She ain't really mad at me. Either she feels unloved, uncovered, unprotected. She feels betrayed. And so I'm going to let her slide on this. Now, you're not going to get too many passes. Okay.
That part.
Okay, you may get a few.
Because a leader, they not going to, hey. Simmer down.
Simmer down.
Yeah, but actually after the 24 hours, okay, I got you. After the 24 hours, I always feel clear. And I always feel like some things, like I even had a situation at work recently, and I was like, I'll tell you what, when I get to, I'm going to send an email. So, and by the time by the time I got home, I said, we take 24 hours when we feel like this.
Absolutely.
And by the next day, when I tell you, I still ain't mentioned it, but the thing that had happened, by the time I woke up the next day, it was gone out of my brain. And so the more that you practice the things that you're learning, when you do go to therapy, because it's two people in the world. Some people go to therapy and then learn, this is why the patterns are the way they are. And then some people say, and now that I have that understanding, I have to get some tools in my kit to learn how to deal with these things. But you have to have the emotional capacity. It takes work. And so many people that I see want to be dating and want to be running into each other and liking each other and swirling around in the ethers, but we haven't done the work. So we're running around projecting on each other, having battle of the sexes. What do you bring to the table? And I really wanted us to be able to get into what do you bring to the table.
I mean, you know,
because
we can
maybe
have
for
another
next time.
I think this should definitely have a second episode, like part 2.
We should
have
because it's something. Because the next time we're gonna talk about
I got questions.
What do you bring to the table?
Ooh, I hate
I
that.
am the table.
I hate that.
It's not even about I am the table. It's about every man's table requires something different. I'm assessing your table to see what it needs.
What do you need?
I'm collecting data to see
but
what
what's
your
wrong?
table
But
needs.
what's wrong with him asking what you bring?
Don't worry about what I bring. Worry about what's at your table.
I need to know. I need to worry about
the
it.
same thing to every table.
And I'm not coming to some tables because what it need is outside
of
what I got
what I can exactly.
And too many men out here think they
we
table
definitely gonna talk
is
about
one
that.
thing and it's not.
Wait. Listen. You don't have to minimize his table because he's trying to get, trying to figure out what you got in your wheelhouse.
No.
Don't talk down about his table because he's trying. I just want an inventory of your skill set to see if you qualify to sit at this table.
Most men don't even know what their table needs. Why they asking you, what do you bring? You don't even know what you need.
But what about the men
and
that do?
when you know what you do, that's when you have a conversation with me about what your table needs, and I can tell you how I align with the needs of your table.
Or I can run from that table very fast and go about my business.
And hit your shoulders like that, right? But here, okay,
That's
for the next episode.
She gave us the signal.
Oh, she gave us the next.
A whole bunch of time.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet because I got beat up and then they go end it like this.
We need a part 2.
Okay, we're done. And
wow.
Let me thank my guests. Can you just say where they can find you, please? If the people want to find y'all, where can they find you and follow you?
If you are looking for me, you can find me on Instagram at T.SHONTAE, T-Shante. My website is tshante.com.
You can find me at Cory Hughes at CORYLHUGHES. And for the ladies watching, I'll probably be in your dreams after this episode.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Also, I will tag them in the show notes. Until next time, thank y'all so much for listening. Namaste, y'all.
Namaste.
Really? In your dream.
Woo! Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Namaste Y'all podcast. If this conversation moved you, inspired you, or simply made you exhale, do me a favor and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. That's how we grow the space and help more folks find their way to this sanctuary of self-love. And just so you know, this ain't just a podcast, it's a movement. So stay connected. Go over to our Instagram page at Namaste Y'all Podcast for updates, behind the scenes, and upcoming events. Take a deep breath, choose yourself, and know this: you are worthy of a life that feels like love. Until next time, Namaste Y'all.